Now, you brought up family. You brought up our kids,
Mm-hmm.
okay? I don't want to tell my kids, well, back in my day, back in the good old days, that's the fuel for me to work so hard in conservation, is I want them to have the better days, okay? We had good old days, but I want them to have the better days.
Yeah.
And that's only going to start when we become conservation-minded.
This is the Connected by Water podcast, fueled by Papa's Pilar Rum, to remind us never to be a spectator. And protected by Starbright, where it's always Starbright season. Special thanks to our sponsors, Seaward Systems, Holokai, Parchview, and Link Genie for their great support of our show. This episode was recorded in our Seaward Systems studio, located on the eastern edge of the Florida Everglades. So she's like, oh yeah, I'm not going to show my face. It's all secure and like all that. And I'm like, and my wife's like, okay, you can have the YouTube account or anything like that. And she just took that and ran with it. And she's like, hey, can I have a CapCut account? Like all this stuff like that. We're like, what do you need that for? So we got to like investigate like every single thing that she's doing. And we did. Like we went through it thoroughly with her. And next thing you know, she start turning around these amazing looking videos. I'm like, that's incredible. And then she started melding into this Roblox thing, which at first I was very apprehensive about. I was like, what, you know what I mean? It's a weird world of some dude hiding behind some cartoon character that we don't know, you know what I mean? But the more we looked into it, it was like, okay, like the way she was doing it. And all of a sudden she's like, once she hit like 1,000 subscribers, she like started crying. She was so excited and everything like that. And it just started like snowball from there. I was like, oh my goodness. And all of a sudden she's like getting a check. She's like, I have to register with YouTube. We're like, what? Like, yeah, in order for me to get paid, I need to open a bank account, else I can't get paid from YouTube. I'm like, what? What's happening here? So yeah, my daughter.
That's incredible.
Seashell something. I can't even know the name of it, but
Well, that's incredible.
if anyone's into Roblox and wants a cool Roblox channel to follow her. So,
man,
yeah,
the power of the internet,
right? But she's just a natural at it. Like after, I'll show you some of her videos. This means obviously it's not our cup of tea,
right?
But just the way they're done, like you can appreciate it from a person who's in film production.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's really impressive.
Yeah,
like she's a natural.
Love it.
Yeah. I don't get it. So
yeah, not my world. You're like, it's this. And I'm like, what? This? I'm like,
right.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. How old are your kids now?
5 and 3.
5 and 3. Okay, so they're probably going to you're probably going to know what Roblox is pretty soon from the 5-year-old. Like by the time maybe they're like 7 or 8. You know what I mean? As they start going into school and some of the other kids start showing them. You know what I mean?
I'll give you a call. I know someone who knows a little thing or two about it.
Thank you very much for driving in.
Absolutely.
To come see me. I know that was a pain in the butt getting through that.
It's an honor being here. I'm glad we're
traffic.
We've talked about this for years.
Forever.
And so sorry it's taken so long.
No, it's cool, man.
I love that we're here.
Like this is, that's how I roll, man. I'm here.
Well, I get these texts from you.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm painting and I'm watching you on TV.
Yeah.
And that blows me away. Like, you're a legend, bro. Like, you do incredible things.
Thank you.
And I'm just like, this guy watches me on TV. Like, what is this? Like,
every Saturday morning.
Dennis Friel. Like, we're friends. Like, this is incredible. And so to have that, it's an honor and a privilege to have you as you are going through your that's your space, dude. That's your time. That's your being creative. And then I'm in the background.
Oh, man. You're going to make me crack open a bottle of rum today.
It's very cool to me.
That's cool, man. I appreciate you saying that. It was like, it's like specifically, especially when I was working on that, the snook that's on the cover of the IGFA World Record book this year, that was the main project. Like every Saturday morning, I'd just be on my couch, just like plugging away at that painting. And I'm like watching you on TV because I always watch the Waypoint. You know what I mean? I was like watching you on TV. I'm like, I'm painting this snook. You're catching this snook. I'm like, I got to text on this.
That's awesome.
Speaking of snook, our boy over here, this Jonathan over here in the corner, caught a monster last night.
Yeah?
Yeah, he drove up to a secret spot. Yeah. Right? I'm not going to tell him where your secret spot is. Don't worry.
So, how big was it?
I didn't measure him, but it was like 42 inches.
Yeah, it was a good stuff.
A lot in that area.
Nice.
Yeah.
My biggest is 40 and a quarter, and I have it on the wall behind me at home.
Yeah.
And my son,
I think this is 46.
46?
Man.
Wow. He's like Snook and Tarpon Master. Like you shut him on your shoulder.
Heck yeah. My son's like, I hope you catch a bigger one. I'm like, I don't want to replace the one on the wall. It's perfect.
We're good. That's awesome. Oh, I talked to your boy Travis today. Travis Thompson. Yeah.
So I've
But he
talked
loves
to a
you.
few different Travises in my life.
Yeah.
Cool. He's good people.
He's such a good guy.
And Travis is the guy I call when something political is going on in the conservation world or with FWC or with the governor or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And I call Travis and I say, I need the information.
He's the guru.
He's the guru.
Yeah.
And Travis, if he doesn't know the information, which rarely happens, he knows somebody who will have the information.
Yeah. He'll be humble and honest about it and everything. He won't try to fake like he knows and everything like that. And I think really the coolest part about Travis is he definitely has his views on things, but he has the ability to look at things from both sides of the aisle and really just find the truth in the matter.
Yeah.
Because he serves the conservation playbook, right? And he doesn't necessarily serve the political playbook.
Correct.
Which is very, very important.
Very rare.
Very rare. It's very important that people understand that about him. Obviously, the architect of Yes on 2,
Yes.
which both of us really, really,
Stood behind.
stood behind and pushed forward and on both of our platforms and everything like that. We'll get to that in a little bit for sure. But I originally called Travis. Well, there's two reasons I called Travis. That's why I called him. I'm like, oh, you're coming on. And then I didn't have a do-gooder for this episode yet. So I was like, let me call Jimmy when I get Travis on the phone. Let me ask who this week's Starbright Project Sea Safe do-gooder. He wanted to nominate somebody. And, he goes, the first person that comes to mind. At first he said you. He goes, oh, John. He goes, but you can't nominate the person that's on your
No, don't be me.
right? So I was like, yeah, probably not. But he said Jessica Namath, right? And Jessica is up there. She's in the Jupiter Tequesta area.
Okay.
And she really is a really huge voice for conservation and the do the right thing attitude about all the different things that we've faced in the state. Like you remember they were talking about doing a golf course in Jonathan Dickinson. Like she was on the forefront of talking about that. She's helping out with this alligator Alcatraz thing right now and, trying to preserve the Everglades and all that. She just always seems to be there playing on the right side, right? So, or at least the right side, the way we see it. So with that, I'm going to say congratulations to Jessica Namath on being this week's Starbright Project Sea Safe do-gooder. This episode's the Starbright Project Sea Safe do-gooder. So congrats, Jessica. We will be in touch and you will get all your Starbright goodies. So cool. So that being said, Jonathan Moss, thank you very much for finally coming here. We're finally getting this done, just like you said. Host of the Captain's Log television show on Waypoint.
And starting a week from this Saturday, so July 5th.
New season?
On Discovery Channel as well.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big move this year.
Nice.
So love the Waypoint family, not leaving Waypoint. Waypoint is awesome.
Right.
They've been very supportive of me and I've loved growing with them. They were my number one goal when I started the show was to get to Waypoint. Thought that would take 5 years or so. And season 1, episode 1 on Waypoint. So that relationship with Waypoint is special to me. But now we have incredible group. Yeah. And now we have an opportunity to maybe reach somebody who we aren't already connecting with. And that's through Discovery Channel. Have so many people come on my boat, day in, day out as a full-time charter captain who don't know Waypoint, even though it is the largest outdoor streaming channel in the world.
Yep.
Okay. You go to the store and you buy a Samsung TV, Waypoint TV is already downloaded on there, which is huge. That's huge.
Yep, that's how I watch it through my Samsung TV.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yet still some people don't know. But you say
and
Discovery
LG
Channel.
gets on there too.
Absolutely.
Yep.
You say Discovery Channel, people know the Discovery Channel. So now we have an opportunity to be in more houses, to get our captains, our stories that we're bringing to life through film.
It's such a good show too. It's so well produced. You guys do such a good job with that.
Thank you.
You really do.
Well, this season, I'm blessed. I've been filming. We released 5 years ago, and I've been filming with the same crew.
Oh, cool.
And the same editor the entire time. So together we are, progressing, and
Mm-hmm.
Jack is just crushing it. He really is. And every season, I feel like he's improving with his storytelling. He knows my expectations. Like, I got an episode this morning, so I'm on my way to the boat ramp for a charter this morning. I'm watching an episode at red lights, and I need to watch it again and send him my final thoughts. But we're at the point where I used to send him critiques. I'd send him 4 or 5. Hey, change this. I don't like this. Now, I mean, it's most of the time it's, hey man, that's good. I don't need to do anything. I love it.
It's like he's the same way. Like with that, like with the other guys, I would change this, go do that. I don't need to tell him a dang thing.
Yeah. Once he figured out,
he actually goes beyond what I'm thinking.
And Jack,
you know what I mean?
Same thing, and that makes our job easy.
Yeah.
Now with Discovery, we have to have. It's added stress because now we have to have 2 versions of the show. I probably shouldn't tell you that, but we have a 21-minute version for Discovery and a 22-minute version for Waypoint. But when you watch them, you don't really notice.
Yeah.
And that's really speaks volumes to Jack and his ability to extend things, extend little periods without you even noticing. So, and that's huge for me. I don't want there to be distractions.
Right.
We try really hard not to acknowledge the camera. Every once in a while, I'll say like a terrible dad joke, and then I'll look over at Jack and give him like a little wink. And those never make it on the episodes, but we try not to acknowledge the camera because when you go fishing with a friend, you're not looking around for somebody.
Right.
You're just going fishing with a friend. And at the end of the day, you've got that story. You've got that, hey, Jonathan said he just went and caught a 42-inch snook. So he's going to go home and he's going to write down, I was at this spot, I used this tackle, it was this kind of weather, I was on this tide, whatever, I used this bait, and he's going to remember that. He's creating a log. Well, we're essentially taking those stories from that captain's log and bringing it to life, and that's the whole idea of the show. And so when we have a team like Jack and Sam and Alex and Dallas, these guys know my expectations, they know where we're going, and it's all about, let's bring those pages to life, let's invite the viewer on the boat with us and have them feel like they're fishing with us. So when people ask me, are you really that excited when you catch a fish? Heck yeah, I'm excited when I catch a fish. I don't get to catch fish very often because I'm normally the guy in the back of the boat pointing out the fish. So it's being able to create the content and seeing those stories come to life, man, and doing that and seeing it like with my kids, and it's awesome. It's a dream come true.
And the people you have as your guests are all good people. Man. Yeah. Like, I'm not even just saying good anglers. It's just like you always have like good people.
Absolutely.
Show.
That's huge for me.
Yeah, it speaks volumes about you too, because you're a good person. You got a great heart and all that. You know what I mean? And like you're reflecting that on your show. It's really cool. And you have a podcast, and you got your charter business and everything. Like, you keep busy. I mean, you're traveling all over the place.
Busy.
Yeah.
Busy. I've just found out today on the way here, it got picked up by a radio station. It's B106 in Ocean City, Maryland. So they're going to start carrying the radio show.
Cool.
The radio show currently airs on the Outdoor Radio Network. We release a new episode every Monday, and then that plays throughout the week. And then on top of that, I film or record 3 other podcasts, a tackle box tip, usually a weekend report. So we're staying pretty busy with that, putting out a lot of content. I started that late September last year, and we're at episode 85. So cranking.
Yeah, he comes on the show complimenting me, and I'm like, man, you're like killing it. You're killing it, not me.
Well, hey,
that's awesome.
My dad has always told me, publish or perish.
Yeah.
And it's not just publishing writing, it goes with art, it goes with video, it goes with podcasts, it goes with radio, it goes with writing. If you're not putting out content, look at your daughter.
Yeah.
If she doesn't put out content on her channel, people want to stop subscribing. People want to stop watching.
Yeah.
And so publish or perish. Put out the content and build it, and they will come, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
So
definitely. I mean, even like you say that, like, throughout the history of time for artists, like the hardest part is getting your art in front of people's faces, like getting into the public eye, getting it known, getting it, you know what I mean? And that's a big part of the job that no one ever sees.
Yeah.
The effort that goes behind that. Like, so I was talking to my father-in-law. We were just up in New York, New Jersey, right? And we went there. My daughter sang Carnegie Hall.
I saw that.
Which was incredible, right? That's like a huge parental moment,
yeah.
Right? I don't even know if she really grasps the importance of, she's 14. Like, I don't think she gets it yet. But, we got it. And so we anyway, my wife's from up there. So we stayed with her parents for like 10 days. And it was my wife's birthday. So we extended the trip a little bit longer. Anyway, my father-in-law is a scout boat dealer up there in New Jersey. And we were just whatever. We always talk business every time we're together and going through stuff like that. And he was basically, talking about, similar things like, you got your meat and potatoes are what you do, but so much of your day is just tackling the little stuff, trying to get to the big stuff.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to get to the big stuff, because the little stuff can just eat up your entire day like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's all the getting your work in front of people, getting it up online or posting it or whatever it is, or, marketing it somehow. It's tough.
Yeah. I have a lot of late nights.
Yeah.
I get up this time of year. I'm up at 4:00. We're pushing away from the clock at 5:45 at the latest, and depending on how long my charters are, if it's 4 hour, I'm home at noon. If it's a 6 hour, I'm home at 2. If it's a full hour, I'm home at 4:00. And I just want food. I'm hungry at that point, right? But when I get home, I want to put boats and fishing away and then spend time with family. And that can be really hard because you have all those little things that are eating at you saying, do this, do this, do this, do this. But family's number one. Family's important. So I spend time with them. And then when they go to bed, 8:00 last night, I was recording a radio show last night at 8. When they go to bed, then switch gears. I put on that other hat. Okay, I'm back to business hat, and I'll be up till 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, creating, editing, writing, whatever, posting, creating posts, scheduling posts, sending emails. I tell all my show partners, I'm going to send you emails on the weekends. I'm going to send you emails way after hours. Just ignore it.
Yeah.
Get to it on Monday or get to it when you get back to work because that's the time I have. But right now, that's the season we're in. We're going to lower, where I play football, coach would say, lower your shoulders and drive through the pad. And that's what we're doing. We're lowering our shoulders. We're going to keep those feet moving until I hear that bell whistle, or that whistle blow. So we're grinding. But the result of that is we're 5 years in. We're launching our 7th season in 5 years. In a couple of weeks, in about 2 months, we'll have 70 episodes released for the TV show.
Wow.
And we're just,
that's a lot in the can.
Yeah, that's a lot. And that goes to show the support of my family, the support of the viewers, and then God's grace and blessing, and just keep on trucking, brother. Doors opening, and we're walking.
On the head right there.
Yep.
100%.
So,
and it's important to have your family support. You know what I mean?
It's huge.
And, with your wife, sounds like my wife, where they're just like, they're all a part of it.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, like you and I were the face of it. You know what I mean? But they're such a part of it too, that we'll get all the credit in the front, but they don't see, you know what I mean?
Right.
How the sausage is made, so to speak.
Before we got started, I told you, I texted my wife a video.
Yeah.
And said, hey, can you post this for me at 6 o'clock? Here, I don't know if I'm going to be done. I don't know if I'm going to be ready.
Yeah.
And absolutely, she texted me. Absolutely, you got it.
When we moved, when we closed the beach gallery, right, this was a big deal for us. There were many, many factors that went into our decision to close the beach gallery. First and foremost, I'm so happy to be done with that commute. You know what I mean? I didn't quit my day job to be stuck in traffic all day long like that. I mean, and over the last a handful of years, traffic just got even worse.
Yeah.
So it was not like that when we first moved out there. But that was one. And another thing too, it's like my kids are, but like Sean's going to be 12 in a couple of weeks and my daughter's 14. And it's like, I started missing out on so much.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I have the ability, because I'm the creator of the content here and everything, to do that wherever I want to do that.
Yep.
And it was a conscious decision. It wasn't like I got to move this operation at home because we can't afford the studio. It wasn't like that at all. I wanted to be with my family, and I wanted to be closer to my wife because we're working together over the phone. I'm like, why are we talking on the phone all day working together? Like, we live together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we set up our operation at the house. I can't tell you how much happier that's made everybody. Like, my son's playing hockey now. I'm able to be at every practice and every game and all that stuff. I'm not missing any of it. It just matters. It's just, it's just been great.
Yeah.
And I think that's just so important as a life decision, to just be fulfilled with what you do on whatever level you need to be fulfilled. To me, that fulfills me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's been great.
No, and that was the right move. Family, at the end of the day, I don't want to die and go, I wish I would have worked more. And I wish I would have caught one more fish from this client.
Yeah.
I want to say, man, I wish I would have spent more time with my kids. I don't even want to say that. I want to go, man, I did all these awesome things, but most importantly, I spent all this time with my family.
Yeah.
That's number one.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah. Love it, dude. I love that move for you. That worked out beautifully. Look at your new studio.
It's cool, right?
It's gorgeous.
And you like it? So, all right. Let's talk about that for a second. So, I meant to bring this up on the last episode, but I totally forgot, right? So, Seaward Systems, I want to make it clear, like we're in our new Seaward studio and it's really cool. And people walk in. When you come here, you can see all the cleaning stations and the rod racks and the fillet stations and all the amazing things that they design here. John and I just went in the back and we did some filming. We're going to put up a video online on social media about the way the operation works here and everything like that. Really, really cool stuff. So I just want to really give a shout out to Seaward for this studio, for giving us the space, but for just being an awesome group of people, an amazing company. Even when John just filmed this and Jerome here, we on this camera here. So Jerome just made that, and they cut that. They not powder coated. What do they call that? Water jet? He water jetted that out for me. So
It's incredible.
yeah, they do amazing stuff here. So,
I think you said 60,000
PSI.
PSI.
Yeah. Yeah. That'll rip your thumbnails off, right?
That's incredible.
Yeah. So speaking of family, right? Conservation is really rooted in that.
Yes.
Because we always say that we're for future generations and
Yes.
things like that, right? We're doing that but we grew up in Florida, both of us. Like we're both natives,
Yes.
right? And I think it hits a little deeper than it does. I mean, I'm not trying to belittle anything, but it hits a little deeper when you're born and raised here, like all this stuff, because we've seen it grow and develop and turn into and the change, right? So take me through in your mind where you've seen the change happen the most, especially as someone who's on the water as much as you are. Right?
Yeah.
And you're from Orlando area, so you're Central Florida. I had the perspective more from South Florida. So you've seen all the changes up there too.
Yeah.
Take me through that evolution.
Well, the first thing you notice is the amount of people in the water. And I don't want to knock that. I love that more people are getting involved in my favorite sport. So you want to go fishing? Do it. Go for it. Awesome. A few things you need to do if you want to be involved in fishing, do it legally. And that's huge. A lot of people are, and being polite, are ignorant to the rules. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So go to Walmart and get the free magazine, or any bait and tackle shop and get the free magazine, the publication from FWC, and learn the rules, learn the regulations, get your fishing license. It's a cheap investment in your future in fishing. Truthfully, that money is going to be allocated for more conservation projects. That money is going to be allocated to help pay for the officers out on the water. So that's all a good thing. Gladly, I pay every year. I buy a charter captain's license, so whoever's on my boat is covered with their fishing license.
Mm-hmm.
And I gladly pay that $250 because I know where it's going. I know what it's helping. So that's huge. But I'm seeing a lot of people on the water. As a result, now you're seeing a lot more pressure of fish. You're seeing more people moving to the state, which is causing, especially in my area, water quality issues.
Right. A lot of runoff issues.
A lot of runoff.
Yeah.
Okay. And so what ends up happening is this runoff is causing an algae bloom. Okay. And the water ends up turning to yoo-hoo. And that's what ended up happening in our northern Indian River Lagoon system. The water looked like yoo-hoo, looked like chocolate milk. And as a result, sunlight couldn't penetrate the bottom. Our grass died. Photosynthesis couldn't occur, so the grass died. Several years ago, we had how many manatees were floating around dead because they were starving to death. Okay, so as anglers, we really need to think about our impact. What are we doing? Because now the water's clear. We're seeing grass growth. So the last thing I want to do is trim my motor down and punch it out with a flat and tear up all that new grass.
Right.
So I want to be mindful of that. I want to be mindful of my garbage. Okay. I want to be mindful of the plastic I use. I don't mind single-use plastic as long as you are taking it and recycling it.
Right.
Again, that's the biggest difference.
That is. That's it.
So if we are, as anglers, are taking those few things in consideration, man, what a difference we're going to make for our water. What a difference we're going to make for our estuary. Now, you brought up family. You brought up our kids.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't want to tell my kids, well, back in my day, back in the good old days, that's the fuel for me to work so hard in conservation, is I want them to have the better days. Okay. We had good old days, but I want them to have the better days.
Yeah.
And that's only going to start when we become conservation minded. We're thinking about maybe instead of taking our limits, limiting our catch, right? Instead of catching our limits, limiting our catch, if you want to bring fish home, bring home enough for dinner, but we're not just filling our freezer up and losing fish. And it's also thinking through, man, what does our estuary look like what do our fish stock numbers look like? Go to the FWC meetings and talk. Travis always talks about.
I think that's really important. What
Yeah.
you're saying right there is like actually go to the meetings. You know, the FWC recently has been under some criticism, and I don't think appropriately so.
I agree with that.
Yeah, but they've been taking some criticism on a lot of things, and I think to be honest with you, the people that are criticizing them, I don't think they truly understand what the FWC's actual role is. First of all,
Well, I would wonder if those people criticizing are actually going to the meetings.
I doubt they are. I don't think they are.
And that's what Travis says all the time.
Yeah.
If you want to be, and that's why the world needs Travis Thompson.
Right.
Because I personally can't go to every single meeting.
Yeah.
But Travis is at every single meeting. And so when he posts stuff and talks about stuff.
And Mike Elfenbein, too.
Mike's a great guy. Yeah, I met Mike because of Yes On too. But people who are criticizing aren't showing up. I mean, what are you going to talk about?
Right.
You know? So be involved.
Learn. I think they don't show up because they really, then they're going to have to put their mouth where their money where their mouth is, or whatever you want to call it, and actually say something and possibly be educated.
Correct.
And who wants that?
Correct.
If you're
get involved.
Yeah.
Get involved. And I've talked to Travis about this as well. Find an organization. I tell people this all the time. Find an organization that stands up for what you believe in. Because there's several organizations that you can back, conservation organizations.
Right.
You know, you could be part of CCA. You could be part of All Florida. Travis's organization. There's several solid organizations. Find the one that has the same beliefs as you, and then support it. And then support it financially.
The Isaac Walton.
Yeah.
Same thing. Like all that. The Bergeron Foundation.
There's
a great one.
There's several. There's several great ones in the state. Some are more focused on cattle and ranchers. Some are more focused on hunting. Some are more focused on fishing. Some are like Travis, All Florida, that encompasses all of Florida. Find that organization and be a part of it and help support it and help share the message. But really, in reality, we're all on the same team if we're working towards saving our estuary and we're building a better estuary for those future generations.
Yeah. I mean, I always would say like, I think we all at the end of the day want the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm at the point where I'm like, I hope we want the same thing, because you find certain things out about some organizations, that even some of the ones that are more popular, you know what I mean, that seemingly are they doing the right thing? Are they just making up stories? Are they just making up circumstances? Are they actually doing the work that everyone thinks they're doing, or are they just like a profiting business? I mean, that's what you got to watch out for when you're following some of these organizations.
Yes.
Even the ones that are very popular, that, to be honest with you, if you talk out against them, you might be.
Well, and that's why I'm saying do your research. Chastised. Figure out who are the right organizations that support what you believe in.
Right.
That way you can get behind them. There's several good ones. So
there are a lot of good ones.
I don't want to focus on one. I want to say do your research, check them out, and then support them, get behind them. And that's a big part of helping our estuaries. That's a big part of conservation. That's a big part of being in the arena when you can't actually go to the meetings. So
I think another cool thing is like, you don't have to be at every, what we call them boots in the water events, like mangrove plantings or, clam drops or something like that. Like a lot of the things that we do with Starbright up in like,
my area.
Yeah. Up in like the Indian River and stuff like that. We do a lot of work up there. But you don't have to go to every single one, but go to one. Actually plant a mangrove.
Yeah.
See how that makes you feel. Because I can guarantee you it's going to be inspiring.
Yeah.
And it's going to change your perspective on valuing the quality of things.
And when it changes your life, you're more than likely going to talk about it.
Right. Yeah. And then exactly, you're going to keep that going.
Yep.
Like and pay that forward.
Yep.
And it's a really important thing. It's almost like don't just talk about it. Go out and do it.
Yeah.
And if more people would just do that, then, or even just pick up trash if you see it on the ground. Doesn't have to be yours. I think that's a step in the right direction too.
I met a couple, this is several years ago. I was at Haulover Canal, which connects the Indian River Lagoon and Mosquito Lagoon. And there was this older couple, and they were there with buckets, 5-gallon buckets, picking up trash. And I walked over to them and I said, thank you, number one, but who are you working with somebody? Are you here with the refuge? Because it's part of the Merritt Island National Wildlife Refuge. And they said, no, We just care.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, who are you?
It's great.
You're incredible. We need 1,000 more of you. I took their picture. Took a picture with them, and I don't remember their names, several years ago, but I wrote an article about them in Coastal England magazine and said, these people, these are your do-gooders.
Yeah.
Be like that, you know?
So that's what a
Do more
do-gooder
than-
is. That's
And
exactly
these
it.
people are going above and beyond, filling 5-gallon buckets, but if we pick up just a little bit around us, what a difference.
Yeah.
You know, and if we're just mindful of our own stuff and then grab something here and there, man, huge difference.
Mhm.
Huge difference in our water quality, huge difference in what's around us. Again, going back to, I don't want my kids to experience or hear about the good old days. I want them to have the better days.
Yeah.
And it starts with doing stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think it's important to, earlier I brought up, we were born and raised here, but listen, if you recently moved here from out of state and you're listening to this show or you're watching this show, or if you were, or just someone who's thinking about moving to Florida, just kind of understand that Florida's built a little bit differently than most places. And the things that you probably were able to do where you're from, you probably can't do here. It's not the same. Because the land and the water is just not built the same here, and we have to treat it differently. That's probably the best way I can explain it.
Yep.
Nailed
it.
Yeah. So, and just be responsible.
Yeah.
And whatever. So, well, one of the cool things I like about your show is the education aspect of it, right? And you do a lot of conservation education on your show. You do a lot of tackle education, a lot of fishing education. And I love that the way you incorporate that, into your show, like over the years. I mean, it's been like kind of cool, like evolving your whole format, like over the years. Like, how is it? Like, 'cause I know, like, we've changed our show, like from the beginning. We're doing it differently now. We're doing it differently now. Like, so, but a lot of it's the same. You know what I mean? But you keep like evolving.
Well,
has it been like your favorite part of the whole show?
When we started,
Yeah,
we had no idea what we were doing.
right. I definitely had no idea what.
So many shows were doing interviews.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I don't want to do an interview. But then, like, because they'll go back and forth. Like, they're talking to the show host and then they're fishing.
Right.
And they're talking to the show host and they're fishing. It's like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I want it to be about the people we're fishing with. But then at the end, we're going to do a recap. So kind of an interview, sitting by the boat, real natural. But I was like, you don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I get off the water. I don't say, hey, buddy, come here. Let's talk about our day. Like, we don't do that. No one does that. So we got rid of that. And then the next thought was, okay, well, we had already had a narrated intro.
Yeah.
And we're doing that as an outro. Well, now let's just make a narrated intro, a narrated outro. And I had a guy, Adrian, incredible, huge supporter of me, did incredible work. And sometimes it'd be like the night before, dude, I need this like in an hour. I got you, bro. Don't worry about it. I got you. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Don't worry about it. I got it. Great voice. But then it kind of transitioned. He ended up having some medical issues and had to get out of that field of narration. And it just kind of made sense. I need to narrate it because it's my story. And it didn't make sense for someone else talking about me because it was him telling about my story and then I go live the story. It made more sense for me because I was always writing the narration, to make sense for me to write the narration, the intro of what we're about to do, the entry in the captain's log, and for me to say it, for me to start talking. So that's been the biggest change. So instead of having some kind of interview, it's more natural of, this is what's about to happen. Here's where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm telling you where I'm going to take you. Then I take you there. And then at the end, I give you a narration ending where this is what we did. This is what it was about. This is how I felt. Sometimes you lose the battles with the fish. Sometimes you get beat by the fish. And we talk about that. Sometimes we win.
Mm-hmm.
I watched an episode this morning. It's going to come out later in the season. And I got my butt kicked, bro. I think I caught 3 fish. The other guy caught like 10.
Oh, really?
I got handed to me. But that's fishing.
Right.
It's real. Jonathan here doesn't always catch the 42 inch. Sometimes I catch the bigger stuff than he does, right?
When I fish with John, he always gets the bigger fish. So
But that's the story. I don't always have to catch the most or the biggest.
Right.
And so when those things happen in real life, well, we're going to make it happen on the show. Sometimes I screw up. Sometimes I set the hook too hard because I see that explosion. I see that fish waking up behind that top water, and I'm like, oh, here it comes. And then the fish smashes it, and I set the hook too hard because I'm excited. And I bill dance it, man. And I just totally screw,
son.
right? Right? But that's real. I don't look at Jack and go, don't put that in there.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, dang it, man. Like,
Yeah.
come on, Jonathan, you're better than that. And Jack's like, yeah, you're better than that, but whatever, it's part of it. It's part of the deal, you know? And then there's times where, man, I focused and it happens and I get the fish. And that's part of it. It's part of the story. That's reality. That's fishing.
Do you think like focusing, like really focusing, like determining I'm catching this fish? Like, do you think that matters more?
Yeah, I think you get complacent.
Right.
I tell that to clients all the time, especially when we're tarpon fishing.
Yeah, tarpon.
You got
yeah,
rolling
definitely.
tarpon all over the place. And then they're working their lures, they're waiting on a bait to get eaten, and they're not focused.
Yeah, like if you really are concentrating,
You're gonna
like
be a lot better.
I think that helps like tremendously.
Yeah.
Like there was like I told you that when I was the Chucklusky, like we were just poon fishing. But I was on super light tackle on a bass rod, we were just catching, and I hooked into a 45-pound tarpon. And I was just like, okay, Dennis, you're not losing this fish. Like you're not losing this fish. And I don't think I ever focused on a fish so hard before in my life. Didn't lose a fish. We got it on the,
Awesome.
like the whole thing. I was like, yeah, dude, you know what I mean? But I felt that was a contributing factor.
Yeah,
But,
absolutely.
But a lot of times, like some people might say, no, it doesn't matter if fish is going to get off. It's going to get off. It's going to get off. But I don't know.
No, I think when you're focused and you think about what you're doing,
Yeah.
talking to yourself, and sometimes when we hook up to fish, Jack will say, Jonathan, say something, Jonathan, talk, because I'm focused on what I'm doing. So I don't lose that fish. Because sometimes it's important. We had a shoot in Naples a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
We had a school about 100 permit up on the surface offshore, and it was unbelievable. And I had too light of a rod, same situation.
Pretty sight though, isn't it?
Oh my goodness. These fish were literally tailing. We watched them chasing these past crabs that were floating. There's crabs floating all over the place. And we watched them chase them and slurp them. It was
awesome.
Unbelievable. We got it off them. It was gorgeous.
That's awesome.
I hooked a fish on too light of tackle, and I was being really quiet. I was really focused, trying to think. And Jack said, say something, communicate. So that's the stuff that's going on in my head is I'm focused here, but then I got to talk. I got a camera watching.
Right.
We got to communicate so it's entertaining for people watching. But then a shark showed up. And so now we're thinking about the shark, and we're focusing on the shark, and we're focusing on a fish and fighting the fish. But I got a really light leader here, and I can't put too much pressure on him. It's like a 25-pound permit. I don't want to break it off.
Right.
So all these things are happening. So having that focus makes a huge difference. Now, I didn't get that fish. He got shark.
He got shark.
Yeah. And it broke my heart. It sucked. It was hard. It was like, that was a fish. That was a fish of life. That was a beautiful permit. But those things happen. But being focused will make all the difference.
Right.
Being focused will make all the difference. If you're sight fishing, you've got to focus or you're not going to see the fish.
Yeah, definitely there.
And there are going to be times where I'm in the back of the boat and we're pulling and we're looking. The angler's just kind of taking it all in. And I'll be like, hey, man, take it all in, but then get focused. Because that fish is going to pop up and you're going to have a very short window of being able to hook that fish. And if you don't get your eyes on that fish and he moves, if he's tailing, if that redfish is tailing and you're not looking, you look away to look at your fly line or you think about something else or a bird flies by or a mullet jumps. That's what gets people all the time. They're looking at fish and a mullet blows up behind you. And they're like, what was that? And they turn around and then they come back and they're like, where's the fish? And
Lost
the fish put his tail down and he moved 10 feet and now he can't find it. But if he would have been looking at that fish the whole time, he would have seen that fish come down. He would have seen the push. So being focused can make all the difference catching fish.
Yeah.
Yep.
What made you decide to start a TV show?
I've always enjoyed content creation.
Mm-hmm.
Even in high school, I had an iMac and was making videos.
Okay.
I was always the creative behind the videos. I was never in front of the camera. When I was a kid, we talked about it. My dad and I joked about it. We'd go fishing. Shaw Grisby had his show, One More Cast with Shaw Grisby.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd be like, oh, one more cast.
Yeah, I just hung out with Shaw.
Yeah, good dude.
Up there at the Grant Valkyria area.
Cool.
Yeah, for that old fish house, for that old mangrove planting event we did.
Yeah, awesome.
What a great guy.
Yeah.
It was cool, not to cut you off, but me and Shaw and Bouncer, we had dinner at the old fish house, all three of us together. And I was just like, man, this is so cool.
Heck yeah. So in me, it's always been something I've wanted to do. I stopped teaching. I was a full-time teacher. I was teaching elementary school PE. Did that for 7 years.
You're a PE teacher?
I was a PE teacher.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was.
There is an old joke about that, right? The PE teacher asks the class, like, who do you think is smarter, me Miss so-and-so, the physics teacher, and Miss so-and-so, the biology teacher. And everyone's like, oh, the physics teacher. And they go, oh, the biology teacher. And they're like, no, he goes, me, because I'm the PE teacher. I get paid the same as they do.
That's awesome. I love that. But see, that mindset is why I quit.
Yeah.
Because I was the PE teacher, no one cared about anything I had to say. I got called to the principal's office more as a teacher than I did as a kid.
Yeah.
Because I'd be in these meetings where I was supposed to be focused, and they'd be talking about stuff that wouldn't relate to anything I did for my job, and I'd be drawing pictures of fish and nothing on your scale.
Yeah,
I'd be drawing like stick figures and buttons
Yeah.
and palm trees, and I would tell jokes. I got in trouble, and I'm good at like talking or listening to someone. It drives my wife crazy because I can be listening to something here and listening to her at the same time.
Right.
And she'll think I'm not focused, and she'll be like, what did I just say? Repeat after me. And I'm like, well, okay, and I'll give it to her. She's like, what? So I had a principal say something in a meeting, and they said something about their test scores went up on a certain year. And so I turned and I looked at the person beside me, and I was like, yeah, coincidence. That's the same year I started teaching. And so she called me out. It was like, Coach Moss,
Wow.
what did I just say? Can you repeat to the group, your colleagues? Like, I'm a kid, right?
Yeah.
So I repeated it back to her, what she said, and then told my joke, and it pissed her off. It made her so mad. And then I got called to the office. Like, you need to be paying attention.
Come on.
Like, this is not for me. These are the things that started happening.
Right.
And then just kind of political things that were happening in education where God was kind of poking and prodding me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I have something different that I want you to go after. And I didn't know what it was. And so I started praying, like, what do I do? Well, I feel like you're moving me. You're wanting me to do something different. Jesus, what do you want me to do? And he said, be a fishing guide. And I started laughing.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm serious. Okay. Well, I need a boat. I have
Right.
a skiff. I have a Ginu, but I need a boat to be able to take people fishing. And that costs money. So I need money, which means I need extra work. So let me know. So a couple weeks later, I was thinking about how can I make some extra money. I thought I can play my guitar and I can sing. I'm not Kenny Chesney, but I can play and sing. And I was talking to a buddy at church, and we played music. We led worship at church. And I was like, what do you think about like playing around town, making some extra money? He's like, okay, that sounds cool. I'm like, take a couple weeks, learn some songs. I'll take a couple weeks. We'll come together and we'll practice, and then we'll try to get in somewhere, meet some people, network in that industry, and try to get some gigs. He's like, done, let's do it. I was like, awesome. The following Sunday,
What was the name of your band?
we didn't even have a name. Yeah, we're just an acoustic duo. Actually, we did have a name. Soul City Sound was.
There you go.
I didn't think it was been so long ago. And here's how we did it. We wrote down a whole bunch of names and threw it in a hat, and we pulled them out, and we said, first we did numbers. Okay, how many numbers? All right. 3. Our number is 3, so that means 3 words. All right, so we pull out the other hat. It's like word number 1, soul. Second word, city, sound.
Wow,
was
that's
it.
interesting.
Soul City Sound.
Yeah.
That's what we did. Anyways, yeah, I haven't thought about that in a long time. So the following Sunday, at the end of church, one of the guys, Ben, came over to us. Is like, hey, man, I don't know if you do this, but I'm looking for like an acoustic duo for a Christmas party
Come on.
for our corporation.
Soul City Sound.
Can you do that? And I looked at my buddy Patrick. I was like, bro, we can do that. And he's like, no, we just talked about it. I don't know anything. You don't know any songs. So I was like, Ben, how much does it pay? He goes, it was a Mexican. It's actually Tijuana Flats. It was their
Oh, yeah?
event. He's like, it pays tacos. I was like, bro, if we suck,
Oh,
who
yeah,
cares?
there you go.
They're going to pay us in Mexico.
Easy.
They
No pressure.
loved us.
Yeah.
And we did an event like 2 weeks later in Tampa. And I was like, you're going to have to pay me if I'm
I was
driving
thinking
to
like
Tampa.
country.
Dude, we did everything.
Everything.
Country, oldies, pop, rock. I mean, we just played everything. I played mandolin, I played guitar, I played the cajon, little drum box,
Yeah.
did harmonies. He's really good.
You got any like unrecorded that I could hear? I mean,
Maybe, I don't
all right.
know.
All right. I'm going to have to follow up on that.
I'll find something.
Yeah.
But we did that and started playing like open mic nights around downtown Orlando and met some people. And then I got a phone call one night. Hey, the guy's supposed to play tonight called me and said he's drunk and he's not going to show up. Can you come? And I was like, absolutely. It's going to cost $150. And they're like, done. And I was like, I don't want $50 in bar tab because I'm starving.
Right.
To food. And we'd go to all these different restaurants and bars and play. We never drank. We only ate food, and they paid us in cash. And we'd get tips. And I would look at him. I'm like, bro, we just got to smile as much as we can and look at people and connect with people. And they're going to tip us. And dude, a year and a half later, I bought my boat. I paid cash for it.
That's great.
And that was all a testament to God just kind of push it.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, I got my captain's license. I came up with a name. I built a website. I got all that stuff going. Then I bought the boat and I was broke because I spent all of my money. I got roommates. They were paying my mortgage. So I was living at home for free. I was eating at all those bars and restaurants. I would take food. We played at Tony Roma's. Remember that steakhouse? I don't even know if there's.
Oh, yeah.
We played there every Friday.
I think there's still one near Orange County Convention Center. Isn't there one over there?
That's the one I played at.
Yeah.
On iDrive.
Yeah,
I didn't even know.
Yeah, I think there's one over there.
That's the one we played at every Friday and Saturday night on iDrive. And they'd feed me while I was there. And then I got a steak and 2 ears of corn and broccoli to go. And I'd cut it in half. And I did that every Friday and Saturday night. That'd be my lunch, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then on Fridays, I'd make like a peanut butter jelly sandwich because I was trying to save as much money as possible. And I did that for a year and a half. And then I got my boat. I was broke. I spent all my money and I taught for one more year. And that year I'd call in sick. Someone would call me for a charter and I'd have a lesson. I'd already know. So I'd have a lesson plan on my desk and I'd call on, I didn't have to call. I just go online and request a sub and his PE. So it got snapped up instantly.
Yep.
And I'd always tell my boss I had anal glaucoma. I couldn't see my butt going to work. That's terrible. That's terrible. But I was the PE teacher, so I could go out and get sunburnt on the water and show up to work the next day, and no one knew the difference because I was always dark. I was always in the sun. So I did that for a year, and then after that year, at the end of that school year, I'd put in my 2 weeks, and I was like, I'm out.
That's a leap.
Yeah.
It's such an important moment.
It was scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was
I know it well. I know it well. We did the same thing opening this up.
Yeah.
I mean, it is such an important moment. It is a scary moment. And that what I usually compare it to stepping off the edge of a building, and it feels like that. And all of a sudden you dip a little, but you land on the platform. It lifts you up a little. And as you keep going towards your goal, you have to take the next step too. There's all these other steps you need to start taking.
Yep.
Step off that one, you're going to fall a little, which is your investment.
Yeah.
And you just got to have faith in God and that there's going to be another step to lift you up to the next level.
Yep. And
it's not like they're stairs. They're steps that drop, but you got to have faith.
Yeah.
That's going to catch you and bring you up.
The crazy part is I had met my wife right before I quit. So she's been with me this entire process.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And I quit my job, full-time job with consistent income and benefits and insurance. Dayquil and NyQuil got me through a lot when I was sick, man. And I had those first 6 months of being on my own were like, whoa, like it's slow. It's slow. I fished all the time because she was at work. She was a nurse. And so she'd be at work. I'd go fishing. I'd take my dad fishing. I'd take a buddy fishing. I was always on the water, but I didn't have a ton of charters. And then January we got engaged and I didn't get pressure from her family, but it's one of those, this is getting serious. Like we're going to get married in 6 months. I need to start making an income to support my wife, my family, our unit. She had a great job at the hospital, but I need to be a part of that support. So we just started praying and we had goals. And I remember it was March of 2017. And I was 2 trips short of my goal to catch up for the whole month. Because I had a decent January, a slow February, and then a great March. And I was like, man, if I could get 2 more trips, I could meet my goal. I could catch back up to where I wanted to be at this point in the year. And so the 2 of us were just sitting there praying together and praying that God would provide some trips this week to hit that goal. And I heard my phone buzz. And I was like, oh, not right now. I'm like, we're in a moment. Yeah. And I heard my phone buzz again. I'm like, no. Yeah. Like, I'm praying. We're focused. So anyways, we were done talking to Jesus and amen. And I pulled out my phone and it was 2 different emails for 2 different trips.
2 trips.
So it's just one of those
that's outstanding.
When you trust God and he tells you to do something and you obey and you take that step, he's going to provide. If he's going to tell you to do something, you need to do it. Think about Jonah and the whale. Mm-hmm. I'm on the water every day, bro. I don't want to get swallowed by a fish, so I'm going to do what he tells me to do, right? Yeah. So having that faith to step out and do something. You said it. You said when you take those steps, there's a drop. Yeah. And that's hard because now you're doubting.
And those are hard drops.
What am I doing? This is really tough. This wasn't what I expected.
They make you want to quit sometimes, those drops.
Make you want to quit.
Those are the drops.
There's the step. Okay, and now you're on that platform and you're working. It's like, okay, it's time to take another. So yeah, it's a progression.
When you quit to leave your day job to start your own business, that is the single most humbling experience that you'll ever feel in your life, because it's survival mode. And you're trying to stay true to who you are. You're trying to stay true to your business plan, if you even have one. You're trying to stay true to the consistency of who you are. And there are moments where especially if you have a family, well, you'll do anything to survive and make this happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when those drops happen, you feel them.
Yeah.
Like you feel them big time. Like you want to cry as a grown man kind of thing. Like you don't want anyone to see, but it's there. You know what I mean? And like it is hard. You know, and it's when you're the one that's accountable for all of it, for the food going in your family's mouths and everything like that, and you're the one that wrote the check. You're the one that committed. It's your butt on the line. You're the one that made the promise, not only to you but to your family. Right? That's a tough pill to swallow when it's not working out.
Yep.
And so when it does work out, it's a great feeling, but you always have that in the back of your head.
And that's
like you could go right back there at any time. That's what keeps you focused.
Yeah.
Very.
And I had a lot of people.
I'm sure you could feel the same way. You know what I mean? It's like that, man. It's real. That's why anytime I look at a small business owner or just a sole proprietor, a guy going out on their own, I have the biggest respect for those people. Yeah. And I feel bad for the ones that fail. I really do, because most of us fail. Yeah. Right? We're three guys lucky in this room that, you know what I mean? Yeah. That actually are surviving doing it, right? Yeah. And I say surviving, right? And it's really, really cool, but I feel so bad for the ones that don't make it through, that had to ditch that dream or whatever it is. I really do. I really don't care who you are.
And I had a lot of people, a lot of guides come up to me and tell me I wouldn't make it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, you get all the negative nannies come out off of the woodwork.
You're never going to afford that boat payment.
Yeah.
You're never going to afford the gas. You're never going to be able to pay your rent. You're never going to be able to do this. You're never going to do that. You drive from Orlando. You're not one of us. You're not from Brevard County. I got that. I still get that every once in a while. And I was like, well, first off, you don't know my God, number one. Number two, you're just adding fuel to my flame to be successful. Because you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, that's good. That's drive, man. Yeah, and faith is the most important part.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, faith and family. I mean, if you got that, you got everything.
Yep.
That's the truth.
Yep. Nailed it.
I mean, and people don't realize that's really all you need, right? And Jesus talks about it, right? You just got to accept them, right? And I had Tiny Walcott, good friend of mine, that's been on the show a few times. He came on. He had like our most popular episode ever was when Tiny told the story of he was on the high seas. He was captain of the Rapscallion, and the boat got hijacked. He almost died by gunpoint. Like the whole thing. He came on and told this whole story. If you want to go see it, it's like episode 60 something. I don't know, but
I gotta go back.
Yeah, it's our most popular. Still to this day, our most popular episode. It's an amazing, incredible story. Wow. Tiny's been on the show a few times, but he came in to just talk about things that we're talking about today. And when it comes to faith, he goes, "It's only possible if you're 10 toes in. You can't just dip your toe in the water. It's not like doing magic tricks. You know what I mean? You have to be all in for it to actually make sense.
Yeah.
Because if you're not, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You can't doubt.
Yep.
You can't doubt it at all. You can't doubt the love of your family. You can't doubt God.
Yeah.
We end every episode the same way. Your ego's not your amigo. Always do your best, and at the end of the day, just let God do the rest. It's true.
That's true.
Yeah. I don't know, man. But it's not enough of that in the world today.
Well, the story doesn't end,
Right.
I did that for 5 years, guiding. And you asked me, how did you get into the TV show?
Yeah.
I thought about it and prayed about it.
I forgot what the original
that was your original question.
Yeah.
I thought about it and prayed about it for like a year and a half. And I knew where I wanted to go. I didn't know how to capture it. I didn't know how to film it. and I didn't want to use GoPros. I'm not knocking GoPros, but I didn't want to use GoPros.
Mm-hmm.
And the answer was 10 feet beside me for a year and a half. I just didn't know who he was. There was a guy at church who ran all the sound and all the technology stuff. I didn't know him, never knew him. And someone introduced me to him, and he goes, I hear you're into fishing. I said, yeah. So what do you think about making a fishing show? I started laughing. He's like, why are you laughing? I was like, I've been praying about that for a year and a half.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay. I'm like, what do you do? He's like, I do film. I was like, you're the missing piece. And that was it. And that's how I got started. Now, we worked together for a year and a half, and we shot 5 or 6 episodes. And his film career doing weddings and photography took off. And so the side project of the Captain's Log just didn't make sense anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, but what happened in that year and a half is I learned a lot about me. I learned a lot about connecting people and getting on the water and talking in front of a camera or being in front of a camera or being used to having cameras. I was the guy behind the camera creating videos, filming videos, doing a lot of that for my church, doing student ministry work. We go on summer camps or we go overseas, and I would film all that, edit all that. I love that side of it. But now it's like I'm the other guy. I'm in front of the camera now. So having that year and a half, we didn't end up doing anything together, but it was kind of grooming me for that. It was practice for doing the real thing. And then that's when I met Jack. I got introduced to Jack from Ty Nelson over at Florida Fishing Products. Found
Oh, cool. It's a great company.
Great company, great guy. And Ty said, I've got a guy that you might be interested in meeting. And I met Jack. Jack, I think, was 18, 19.
Oh, wow. Really? That young?
He was young. No, he might have been 20 because he's 25 now. So I think he was 20, but regardless, very young.
Yeah.
Very young. But that's how it all started, and it's all these progressions of, well, I got to do this, I can do this, and the ladder that you were talking about. And honestly, the fishing show part was, well, I think I'm at my cap on fishing charters. What's my next step for growing in the fishing industry? That was kind of my thinking about it. I was like, all right. And that was something I wrestled for a year and a half. And there's still a lot of room to grow. I watch, it's wild to me that Tom Rowland knows my name.
Mm-hmm.
I called Tom on my way here today.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Like it's wild to me.
I never met Tom. He seems like a really great guy.
Great dude.
Yeah.
And I've watched him on TV, him and Rich, for forever.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're on their 20th or 21st season now.
Yeah, those guys crank out a lot of content.
And they put out quality content. Yes. So to be going from that position of I'm as a teacher to I'm a guy to now I've got a show on Waypoint to now these guys know who I am. It's crazy. And it's just a testament of just trusting God and taking those steps and climbing those steps that you talked about, of hitting those different platforms.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? And it doesn't matter necessarily, but that's the stuff, man. The beginning stuff is the stuff that people don't see. I haven't even thought about this in a while. You know what I mean? But like going back and like looking into it and like knowing everything that we did, like right when I quit my day job, is like my wife was the one that pushed me out to do it. You know what I mean? Where, she's like, you're getting older now. When are you going to do this? When you're 60? She started like jabbing me and all, it's like, you were meant to do this and all. And so she's like pushing me to do it. And I'm like, well, I had a really great job. Like I was working in the music business, the whole thing like that. I was a creative director. It was $1 billion company. Everything was going great. I didn't have to leave my job, but she knew that in my heart, in my spirit, that this is what I wanted to be like meant to do kind of thing. And wasn't easy. It was right after my son was born. My son was born 2 months premature. He spent 37 days in the NICU. That alone was difficult enough, right? And then that's when we were like, right after that, you're just having 2 kids. That's it. You can't go through that again. And then, but it was like, okay, a few months after that, we're like, this is it. We're taking the leap. We had a situation happen at my old job where we were merging with another company and everything like that. And I'm like, there's going to be layoffs. And I reported directly to the CEO. I went to him and I knocked on his door. I said, there's going to be layoffs, isn't there? He's like, oh, I'm not allowed to talk about that. It's just going to be layoffs, right? He's like, yeah, probably. I'm like, make me one of them. He's like, what? I'm like, I worked here for 17 years. I think I earned it. I earned the severance. Don't you think? And he agreed, and he tried to, I told him my whole plan. I laid it out for him. I said, this is my opportunity. That severance that I'm going to get is going to be very helpful for me when I leave and all that. He connected with HR, connected with the new company. They wanted to keep me. A very good track record there. And he's like, no. And they all agreed to it after like 2 weeks of like going back and forth. That helped. But yeah, man, in the beginning, it wasn't all, I had good clients and we had some great opportunities, but it wasn't all peaches and cream, man. There was a lot of peanut butter and jelly nights and
nobody knows
things like that. Yeah.
Nobody gets it.
Yeah.
I still have people think that all I do is go fishing.
Yeah. And yeah, right. Yeah. That stuff, people think all I do is just wake up in the morning and just start painting fish and everything's great. That's a very small part of it. Sorry.
Yeah.
You go through all those phases and, it's just like you look back on it and you're so thankful that you're able to come out of it. I don't even want to say on top, but just breathing. Yeah. And, but yeah, it makes it worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just want to just maybe say a message to someone who's thinking about doing something for yourself in this lifetime. I'll never go back to a job again.
Yeah.
Okay? Let me just put it to you that way. There is no way in hell I'm going to work for anyone else ever again.
Yeah.
Because it is good. Go through the struggle.
Yeah.
Get past all that. Like, get past it. Because it is worth it. The reward that you feel at the end of the day, all that struggle, all that, like, it gives new meaning to your life. Just do it. If you're thinking about it, just do it. Get off your ass and do it.
Yeah. Take those steps.
Yeah.
10 toes in the
Even if you fail, have faith in God and do it.
Yeah. I've just started following this guy on Instagram. School Hard Knocks or Hard Knocks School or something like that. And this guy approaches millionaires and billionaires. This is, hey, are you a billionaire? How did you afford this house? What do you do? Can you tell me my story? And clearly it's all been staged because you don't just walk up to somebody inside of a gated community and do that.
Right.
But these successful entrepreneurs tell their story. And almost every single one of them was that. It was a struggle. I got turned down. I met with this company. I think about Toby Keith. He's a country singer. He passed away. He was at ICAST a couple years ago.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
He has a story where he took a tape, like a cassette tape, because that's what they had in the 80s was a cassette tape. And he took it to a record label, and the guy laughed and said, "This is terrible. This writing's awful. Your voice is awful." He wrote all the songs, recorded all the songs. And he said on that tape was like 5 #1 hits.
Really?
Should Have Been a Cowboy was on there, and several other songs. And he's like, I think that guy's cutting grass on the east side of Nashville now. And I'm thinking that's what's going on is he got told no, but he just kept driving. He kept pushing. He kept going after. I said earlier, lowering my shoulders and keep going through the patch. Just keep pushing. Keep moving those feet till you hear the whistle. Keep going after it. So if you're thinking about doing something like that, number one, you better be called to it. Don't just do it because it's a fun hobby, because it's work. It's a lot of work. Yeah. This is not a hobby. This is a lot of work. And for me, having the full-time charter company and then doing the TV and then doing radio and all the social media stuff, I don't have employees. I don't have a marketing team. I'm not there yet. My wife was my marketing team, and she's my dresser and all these other things. She's doing all these things for me, right? But outside of that, it's us. It's just us. So it's tough. It's a long road, but man, it feels good. I don't want to be handed anything.
Right.
I've
definitely
never
not.
handed anything.
Yeah.
I've never gone without. I'm very blessed. My parents are incredible people. They live down the street from us. So I see my parents every day.
That's great.
I left my house and I went to my parents' house and I gave my mom and dad a hug and a kiss, and they prayed over me.
You can't put a price on that.
No. So I've never went without, but I never was just given stuff. You have to work for it. And I appreciate that. I used to be a runner. I've got a little bit of a dad bod now, but I used to be a runner, and I ran long distances. And I remember when I played football, I was always the slowest. I was never fast. But it's not about being fast and long distance. It's about taking those steps and not stopping and keep moving and training and building up to it. And if you don't take those steps, you're never going to get to that finish line. You're never going to cross it.
Right.
And that's the same thing with, if you have a goal, you have a dream, you're never going to get there if you don't take that first step. Yeah, you're going to come to checkpoints and you're huff and win and you're, man, this sucks and I need more water and I need something to eat, but you got to keep pushing. You got to keep pushing.
I always see you brought up that. That's interesting, man. Like, where's that Toby Keith that never made it? That maybe lost its drive or maybe didn't have the, let's say luck is just merely preparation meets opportunity. You're ready for it, right? And then, like those people are just, there's more of those people out there than the ones that made it, but it's like, why? You know what I mean? Like there's plenty of people out there qualified to be on the level or follow your dream or make your dream happen. You gotta ask yourself why. Did they not have enough drive? Did they not have enough focus? Did they not have the faith, strength? What was it? You know what I mean? But I think belief, as our Stanley Cup winning Brad Marchand just said prior to the Panthers winning Stanley Cup. And he said, what was it, Brad? What was it that guy that won, that you guys won this game and you're moving on to the next round of the Stanley Cup? And he goes, belief is a powerful thing. And that's all he said. That was the way he answered the question. He goes, belief is a powerful thing. And it's true. And that hit home with me. I was like, it sure as hell is. Because that's the space between, right? That's what you can't feel.
Yep.
That's what you can't put your thumb on. But it's belief, right? You got to believe in yourself, Like, even like, and you got to keep trying. You can never get complacent. Jamie Foxx, huge mansion in L.A. and everything like that. He's got one of the rooms in his house unfinished. And he keeps it like that on purpose. Because he doesn't want to ever feel like he's done. And that's your house. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, why do you have that thing? I'm never going to finish that room. Don't worry about it. Leave it like that. Yeah.
Wow.
And that's drive. That's belief, right? But it's also motivation.
Yep.
So.
10 years ago, I walked in ICAST with someone else's name tag. I probably shouldn't tell that. ASA, don't listen to that. And hoping to meet
the people in the building.
To meet somebody.
Yeah.
Hoping. I was embarrassed. I would turn it. I had it backwards. I'd walk up to a booth and I'd be like, hey, I'm Jonathan. I'm like, oh, hey. Yeah, your name tag's messed up. I was like, oh, yeah, don't worry about that. I'd shove it down my shirt. And I'm trying to meet somebody.
Yeah.
And now I'm going into ICAST in a couple weeks. And I'm not anybody. I'm not saying I am. But I'm going to ICAST with people there that I know. People who know my name. People who I've become friends with in the industry. And that's just, again, that's part of taking those steps.
It's good reflection.
Good reflection.
Yeah, it's good. It's you live a life what never examined is not worth living. That's the old proverb.
Yeah.
I mean.
And when you reflect, you can see things you did good and the things you messed up on and things that you're crushing, and you can focus in on that's how you refine. That's how our iron sharpens iron. That's how you get better.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to tell, like, having early days on it to me to get in the ICAST. I used to just call up to these companies. I'd start relationships with them. I was doing work through the tournaments. I came up through the tournaments. And that's how I networked all, because you'd sort of meet everybody. So I was doing artwork for tournaments and everything. And to get in the ICAST, I'd like see one of the companies that I knew was going to be set up for ICAST. It's like, hey, can I live paint at your booth? Like, oh, yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be great. Of course, you know what I mean? And more activity for our space and everything like that. I'm like, hey, cool. I need a badge to get in so I can do that. And they go, okay. And then I'd be in ICAST. That's how I did it. I'd just go and I'd paint for free for like a couple of days. And then that's the thing. Next thing you know, then you meet more people and you just go. Whatever way you got to do it, man. Yep. You get it done.
Yeah, it was my neighbor's pass.
Was it really?
Well, like, you're going, I guess? He's like, yeah, you want to go? And he's like, here, take my pass. I can't go tomorrow. I was like, oh, okay. You're just going to let me in? He's like, yeah. I was so embarrassed because it had someone else's name on it, but that's how it started.
That's it.
It's crazy.
I'm going to ask you a question that I ask all my great captains on the show. Everyone's got one. What's your one that got away?
When I was 7, I was fishing with my dad.
7. I love it.
Lake Conway.
This goes deep.
I went past this spot today. I cannot pass this particular spot without thinking of this story. I was throwing a frog, and there was a dock. It was perfect. The sun was high. It was summertime. I knew that shadow line underneath that dock, there's going to be a fish. I just knew it. We're coming through this area. And I told my dad, hey, slow down, slow down. I want to make a cast. He's looking at me. He's like, okay. So I made a cast, and I'm bringing that frog across the side of that dock, right on that shadow line, just like you would a snook, right? But we're bass fishing. And this fish came up, smoked it, and crushed it. Oh, I set the hook. I'm fighting this fish. It's jumping. I'm doing everything right. And that fish got all the way to the boat. My dad grabs the net. He goes to scoop it, and the fish came off at the boat. And I just sat there. I didn't cry, but I was quiet. He goes, you good? I was like, I need a minute, Pop.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, okay. Like 5 minutes go by. But you want to go home? I was like, I'm good. Let's go home. That was one fish that got away that I'll never forget. And I went past that spot today. I swear I cannot. I mean, that was 30-something years ago. I cannot go past this spot without seeing that fish.
It haunts you.
Yeah.
7 years old.
You know what, man? Those are the fish that keep you going.
Yeah.
You know, I don't remember all the fish I caught. I
Yeah.
remember those. You know, I remember the ones I lose. I remember exciting moments, but some of those exciting moments are the ones you lose.
Yeah.
We filmed an episode, and I thought Jack, the first time I saw it, I called Jack, and I was like, perfect. We were in Crystal River with Captain Adam Whitston. We have 2 giant snook coming at us. And I made a great presentation, and there was 2 snook, and one, they got competitive with each other, and one was really aggressive and grabbed my DOA plastic. And I set the hook, and it's just, I got the rod as high as I can because there's oysters, there's rocks, there's stuff to break off on, and I'm yelling at him, hey, you better start pushing. I'm right on the line. Like, this thing was heading for the hills. It was taking off. And I got the rod up, and then broke me, just wore right through the leader.
Yeah.
And the music was just rocking. And then when that broke, Jack killed the music. And you feel it.
Yeah.
Like, I was heartbroken. Like, oh, man, that was a good fish.
Yeah.
That was a really good fish. But again, it's those moments. You know?
It is those moments that bring you back. 100%. You know, like, I don't know. I got tons of them, but
Yeah.
maybe I lose too many fish, but you know what made me realize something? So he sits there and he has to listen to everyone's one that got away.
Yeah.
But I have yet to ask you.
Well, nobody can hear me.
But you have one though, right? He's probably, I'll say he's probably like dying to like.
I was looked at, but I also have
Another fish I'm not aware. If you want, I'll tell it another time. We'll make him here.
All right.
All right.
All
I'll put a mic here next time.
right. You'll put a mic there next. All right. Next episode, make sure you listen because old John Wattler is gonna tell his one that got away story. That'll be the feature highlight of the.
You told us earlier about your 46. I took Mark Nichols from DOA Lures Fishing a couple weeks ago. We were filming. And he's telling me about the 50s that they used to catch. I want to catch a 50. I want to see a 50.
That's a Snookosaurus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a big snook. When I was a kid, we'd go to Sanibel, and that's where
It's like one of those are the ones that got that long sloping back. Oh.
thick shoulders.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've seen a mullet or two, right?
Oh my goodness. They're big for a reason.
That's right.
Yeah. Wow. I love snook. That's got to be my favorite fish.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so. The snook and tarpon. I mean, I don't know. I love tarpon too. My favorite part about tarpon, though, is that they could be this big, right? Like, or they could be
Jump
200 pounds, and I still love them both
Yeah.
the same. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Oh, after like 30 minutes into those jumbos, like, man, I really like the small ones.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's why it balances out. You know what I mean? The first 20 minutes of a huge tarpon is great.
Yeah, yeah. Then you're sweating middle of summer, and you're just like, oh man, I'm gonna be tarpon fishing tomorrow. Boca Grand Pass.
Where are you going?
Boca Grand Pass. I've never fished it
nice.
before. I've never fished the pass.
Yeah. Have you fished Boca Rin? I haven't either.
So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see a little bit of bumper boat action and
Yeah, right? Oh my God. And they have that big party over there every year too, don't they? It's like a big like Boca Bash kind of thing.
something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. And I think they're doing like a bonefish closure in that area too. We were talking, wasn't Dr. Adams talking about something like that too? I think there. Yeah, I think there might be. I think they're one of the keys for sure. But they're maybe they're just talking about one over there. I don't know. Tarpon fishing. Love it. When we go fishing soon?
Tell me. You
Yeah.
always got space in my boat.
Nice.
Tell me.
All right. Maybe after I cast.
Come on.
All right. That'll be good.
Keep me posted whenever.
Thank you so much for coming to see me.
Oh, dude.
Like, I mean, dude, this has been
Thank
great.
you. This is my privilege, my honor.
Thanks for let's putting together a podcast where I don't even have to look down at a sheet of paper once. That's great. And thanks for opening up your heart, man.
Oh,
That's important to me.
It's not.
You know?
It's not me. I couldn't do this. I'm just a dude.
Yeah.
It's all about him.
Truth. It is the truth. It really is the truth. And that's what keeps you grounded.
Yep.
And it's, I don't know, man. It's everything.
Yep.
Yeah, it really is. So, I want everyone to go and watch your show on Discovery Channel now.
Discovery and Waypoint.
Right, and Waypoint, right? And that's really huge. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so it'll be on
a huge step.
Discovery Channel Saturday mornings. It'll
Okay.
also be nationwide. It'll also be on Discovery Plus and Discovery Go.
Okay.
And if you don't have any of that, go download Waypoint. It's free, and it's
Right.
full of great hunting and fishing content.
That's what I tell people, because most people are like, oh, they're going to either listen to our show on Spotify or whatever, Apple Podcasts or something like that, or they go to YouTube or whatever. But we are a Waypoint hosted shows.
Yeah.
And they got, like you said, there's a ton of great shows on there. There's a ton of great, just listen shows. You can also watch shows and stuff on there. Like I said, all the time rolling stuff. And it's great. Great
So much
format,
content.
good group, good people. You know what I mean? And it's all solid. Very conservationally minded content.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. And are you hungry? You want to go grab a bite to eat?
You know what I had in the car on the way here?
What?
I had a bag of dill pickle pork rinds and a Coke Zero. That was my lunch.
My God, we're gonna go.
Am I hungry? I'm game for eating.
Dinner's on me, John. Dinner's on me. We're gonna go wherever you want to go. I'm hungry too. So, all right, we're gonna end this. We're gonna go get something to eat. Thanks, brother.
No, thank you.
All right, so we're gonna end this the right way, right? Your ego is not your amigo. Always do your best. At the end of the day, it's just like God, do the rest, and do not ever forget that no matter where we are, no matter what we're doing, we're all connected by water.
So,
Jonathan Moss, thank you very, very much.
Fred, thank you.